We're streaming live on YouTube and recording. We ready? All right, perfect. Hey, everybody. Thank you again. It's Monday, our favorite time of the day at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are Lightworkers Seeking Success. And today we have Sandi Darlene. She came to visit and chat with us today. So we're so honored for you to be with us today. Thank you so much, Sandi. I just wanted to introduce all of us, and then I'll introduce you a little bit more. So we have Adam. He is the founder of Acorn Life Mastery. We have Pamela Allen. She's the Theta Healer. And we have Colette Gallagher. And she is a relationship coach as well as an access consciousness practitioner, and I myself am also an energy healer. So you are right in the right place with all of us. You speak our language.
Awesome.
So the whole purpose of us having this channel is to support other light workers, other healers, and getting the word out there. And we have had, as we all know, have had kind of a crazy time these last few months, and we just want to do our what we can to keep that vibration up. And I know that's one of your major things, is what you wanted, what you came here at this time to do. And so I met Sandi through my personal healing page, Clear Coding with Amanda on Facebook. And I had asked if anybody wanted to be interviewed, and she said, yes, pick me. So I was like, so excited. So I was like, oh, great. So perfect. So, so Sandi, you're a Reiki. Are you a Reiki master?
I am a Reiki master.
Okay. And then, oh, you also do bars too.
I'm a bars practitioner. Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Thanks to Colette.
Oh, thanks to Colette. Oh, perfect. Oh, yeah. So you know Colette. Okay, cool. And then you do body readings, and is it halo therapy or halotherapy?
Halo therapy. It's a salt room. Have you if you've ever experienced a salt cave? Yeah. So I do halo therapy. Halo is actually the Greek word for salt.
Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense. Oh, I love that. Okay, cool. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I am less than 40. No, I'll be 40 this year, this coming year. And I have been into metaphysical, spiritual, energy healing for about 20 years. It all started probably when I was pregnant with my daughter. I've always been very intuitive and been very much into dream work. And then one thing just kind of led to another. I have one daughter. She's going to be 20 this month. And about 1 week after Colette made me a bars practitioner, the holistic clinic that I have been manifesting for 10 years fell into my lap. And so I was able to open my holistic clinic in June. I actually got my building the last week of February and planned on opening in March. And then the whole country shut down. So I had to wait till June. And it actually was all divine timing. It made everything more special. It gave me more time to create and make it what I wanted. So that's fun.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Okay, so one of the things I asked you, like, what do you do? And one of the things you said is that you have, you want to raise the vibration of humanity on the planet. So how do you plan on doing that?
Well, working with myself, for one. The more I heal myself, the more I heal others. So when I create that space for me and just kind of be an allowance and just create awareness and spread that consciousness as much as possible, by working on me, I am healing others. And then I meet others and I hope to inspire them or just kind of create consciousness or awakening for them, or create a space for that. And then they do it, and it just one person at a time, we just clear the planet.
It just takes one person, right? And then the next person is like a domino. So one of the things is, so where are you located?
I'm located in Bullhead City, Arizona. So that is,
Okay.
I'm right on the Colorado River. So I'm actually like on the corner of California, Nevada, and Arizona.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I have all 3 states within like a 10-mile radius.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you want to tell us a little bit more about your healing center and the things that you offer there? And
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah.
I do Access Consciousness Bars. I do Reiki healing, and I offer different types of Reiki. I generally follow Dr. Asui's traditional Reiki. So I do offer Saheiki with that. I do offer Kundalini Reiki, and it's kind of weird. I was not planning this when I opened, but what else is possible? And I got a very large animal clientele. So on certain days of the week, I actually do animal Reiki too.
Nice.
And they're super receptive to it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I do aromatherapy here. We do candle intention therapy. I do halo therapy, which is the pink Himalayan salt therapy. We do all kinds of events and classes. So I offer very cheap classes to the community for like $11 to $30.
Wow.
And they're just 1 to 2 hour classes about absolutely everything. So it ranges from chakras to energy work to extraterrestrials to geoengineering. It doesn't matter because I'm trying to capture anyone and everyone with something that they've heard of. So if they've heard of aromatherapy, or they've heard of chemtrails, or if they've heard of chakras or whatever, if I can capture them with a word and get them in here, then I know that I can help them discover what they're missing and maybe point them into the next step of their journey, So really cheap classes. We do free support groups. I do a cancer support group. I have a peer team, peer group, support group, youth group. And that one is LGBT friendly. So we have a lot of kids right now in that teen range that are struggling, and suicide rates in that age group are the highest that they've ever been. So we try to just kind of meet and create a community where they are safe and can express themselves, and there's always somebody supporting them. I do a younger kids, kinetic kids youth group. We do a lot of crafting. We learn about different cultures, different religions, different everything, just to kind of keep their minds open so that they can embrace what is right for them. And then we also do guided meditation. We do self-guided meditation, all different kinds of things. Really, there's new services being added all the time. So I really can't limit myself to just a few things. We offer spiritual guidance, all different kinds of things. So,
And then do you have other practitioners that they help you in?
it is me. It is just me.
Just you?
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
my girlfriend also does all of these things,
Mhm.
but she kind of told me to just go for it and quit my job and do this. So she is the support side of all of it right now. And I was not ready to do all this, but it all came at me and I couldn't say no. So she has been very supportive. And the goal is to create and generate enough business for her to come in here and be able to do it too. And then just help this place grow. So I literally am doing absolutely everything. I take appointments from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. to try to accommodate everyone.
Wow.
And it's been incredible.
So Sandi, you're busy, and I think you're
Very.
about as busy as I am and the rest of us here. What do you do for self-care?
What do I do for self-care? Well, my girlfriend does my bars, and she also does Reiki on me. I just went to, but I'm actually the only facility in this whole tri-state area that's like me. So you have to literally drive almost 2 hours anywhere else to find another holistic clinic or anything else. But there is a yoga center here that they bring in healers from out of town. And I just did a really amazing vibrational sound therapy that was very transformational about a week ago. And then other than that, really just self-reflection. I do a lot of my own dream work, meditation. I utilize my own salt room. Colette actually said something to me when I was becoming a bars practitioner. And so I've practiced Reiki almost 20 years. And so that entire time you focus on grounding, being grounded, being grounded. I'm not a grounded person. I'm like crazy. So she actually said something that totally changed my whole perspective. And she said, why would an infinite being need to be grounded? It shook my world. So I don't practice being grounded anymore. If I need to be connected with the earth, I will take time to connect myself with the earth. I will go into nature. I will do the things I need to do for that. I'll take my moment of breathing, but I really just focus on being an infinite being and just embracing that.
I love that. Oh my gosh. And I love what you're doing. And that's why I thought, oh my gosh, so important for her to be on our page and get the word out there. I'm trying to do kind of the same thing in my own area and open up a holistic healing center for people in addiction. That's my passion and purpose.
That's beautiful. I'm hoping I'm talking to a few of the centers in the area that help with drug abuse, addiction, and domestic violence. And I'm hoping to create a relationship with them so that they can help me with my support groups.
Well, let's do some Zoom classes together. We can support
That'd
each other.
Amazing. Yes, absolutely.
I have another girlfriend. She lives in Washington as I do, but on the eastern side. I live on the western side by the water. And she and I do Zoom classes, and we do free energy healing for people who are suffering from addiction. So we do
this is kind of like my breakout video for that. I've been terrified about going live. So I have made a pact with myself that after I do this video, I will start my own live videos. So
yeah, awesome.
This is like my breakout video.
What's awesome. And I'm glad that we were able to support you with that and offer you a safe place and a loving space to be able to do that. So we're proud of you for stepping out and
thank you.
It's like we do all this work, but we don't want to be seen doing it. It's like,
truly.
come into my office.
I have a question, Sandra. Since you do so many things and it's awesome, how do you decide, like when a client comes to you, right? And they're like, hey, I have this challenge or this is what's going on with me. How do you decide, like, do you do everything with them or how do you navigate that?
So what I do is I can do a very intuitive body reading. So that's what I try to do. I actually do a body reading and I go through each of the chakras to kind of see what type of trauma or drama I'm dealing with. And then I am able to kind of decide if it's something that might be more difficult because trauma in the past, then I might approach that with Reiki. If it's something more present or limiting, then I might approach it with bars. I offer for people that I have a few people that have cancer. So I do a lot of Reiki with cancer and aromatherapy and the halotherapy to kind of lessen symptoms and so that they can stay focused on their fight, so it really just depends on the person. And it's really, really incredible. I've had people that try several different things and then they just decide what works best for them. But I usually start with a body reading and kind of go from there on what I think they'll be most receptive to. So yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Let's see, does anyone else have a question? I know I'm hogging all the time here.
How do you envision 2021 going?
Okay, so I thought a lot about that. Okay, so I think we're going to see a lot more people checking out. I know that sounds grim, But I think as we're ascending to this fifth dimension and as we're getting rid of this third dimensional world, the people that helped us get to this point, the people that are not meant to be in this fifth dimensional world with us, I think a lot of people are going to check out. I see more awareness and more awakening happening. I see the holistic community opening up a lot more and getting more credibility than maybe it's had in the past as a viable option, hopefully even something in the next couple of years that might become insured. I would like to see, I would just like to see more consciousness happening and more awakening happening. But I do see the things that are limiting us from that. I see people checking out, and I see more situations arising so that it will create consciousness. And I actually feel like it's going to get a little darker before the light just comes barreling through. And I don't think that's anything to be afraid of. I think that the universe has our back. And I think that we should just really embrace all of it, even the trials and tribulations, because that's where we're going to do most of our journey work. And we're going to see the most benefit from. So.
And do you get any direct messages from the Pleiadians or any of the alien races?
So I actually call in all extraterrestrial races to help me and aid me in all of my healings. I feel them enter. I have had several dreams on messages right now that I don't have all the information to. I see a very large sphere with a wheel in it, and I see about 6 to 8 different races that are part of that, and it's only a fraction of this sphere. I see a lot of, I don't understand it yet. This is very new information that I've just gotten, and I don't think I have all of it yet. It's been driving me crazy. I think between the 2 full moons and the new moon last month and 5 planets in retrograde and all of this information coming in just before that and around the same time, I wasn't sleeping at all because I was just trying to figure it out. And I went and I got this vibrational healing done, and that was amazing. I slept so well after that, and so much more came to me. But I do see so much in our ascension on this. There's going to be a lot of tribulation coming for us, and it's not a bad thing. People checking out is not a bad thing. This is elevation, and it's starting. The transition has started. It started.
Yeah, I think, people sometimes judge, right and wrong, good and bad. And there is really no such thing. It's just your interpretation of it. And so when you're able to just love things unconditionally, no matter what, evil can never win when that happens. Evil only wins when you hold a judgment to it and you view it as negative energy, right? So I love that. And I think if you keep holding strong to that vision, it's going to get more and more clear. And I'm getting a lot of Kundalini energy right now, just like my solar plex is like pumping right now because I can feel the truth vibrations coming out. And what you're saying is, I really think you're on the right track with the viewings that you're getting, the images that you're getting. So I just stick with it.
I can tell you that the sphere that I'm seeing, I can best explain it, what I understand of it so far, as if you think of a yin yang symbol. Okay, if we have a yin side and we have a yang side, and if you pull out the yin side, it's no longer in balance. If you put that back and pull out the yang sign, it's no longer in balance. So either both of them have to be in there. But if you take both of them out, it's still balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And that has just blown my mind. And I don't understand all of that yet, but it is unconditional and it is love. And it doesn't have to be a good or a bad or a nice or a mean or a feminine or a masculine. It doesn't have to be any of that. There's a void there that is a portal. And it is definitely part of our ascension.
Well, do you know anything about the beings in Hollow Earth? Have you heard of the beings in Hollow Earth?
So I've seen a few different. I've learned a little bit about them, about just very large, giant-like beings that have very long dreadlocks. They are more of a guardian, more of a watchdog, I guess you could say, than, and they're not, I don't want to say emotionless, but their emotions are not valid or needed for the protection of this planet. So, in fact, those are all just set aside so that they can protect this planet at the best level that they can.
Yeah, and I know that they live in complete harmony, right? So they don't
Right.
need
Yes.
food or water.
Right.
Just everything is in complete harmony from start to finish with everything.
Right.
And they've really figured it out on exactly how to do it. And
Yeah.
whether you call it technology or knowledge or whatever you want to call it, I mean, they intuitively know exactly how to do it. Just like an animal when they're first born and they learn how to walk like almost instantaneously without any, guidance or help or anything. They just kind of figure it out, right? It's the same thing with the beings in Hollow Earth, is
Right.
they know that. And we can go there as, as us.
Right.
We've just chosen
Right.
not to as of yet.
Right. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Incredible. Thank you for bringing that up.
I think Pamela had a question, and I saw her unmute and then mute and unmute.
Thanks, Seth. Jenny, I was just curious because I know that several of us here have had direct, for lack of a better word, almost like attacks from demons towards us. Are you seeing or experiencing any of that yourself?
Okay, so I recently cleared an entity from someone, and I'm very careful not to bring things home with me, but I did, I think, bring it home, or it just attached itself to me somewhere else. So I was recently sleeping, and I saw this energy come into my face, and I kind of just kind of ignored it. And then I felt something tugging on my foot. So I kind of like shook my foot. Nobody was home. And I kind of like shook my foot to get it to leave me alone. And I didn't think of it as an entity when that was happening. And next thing I know, it grabbed my other foot and literally yanked me about 12 inches down off of my pillow towards the bottom of the bed. And I was like, okay, you have my attention. Like, what the hell was that? So I just did some clearings for that. I've had a few others, just kind of random. And I've had I get a lot of my images in my dreams. And those have just been off the charts the last several months. It's been very insane, very insane.
Sandi, can you tell us a little bit more about like dream work and what that is and how that works? Because I'm always wondering about what my dreams mean.
I am still working on it. I've been working on it for years. No, so I do a lot of, I started with journaling, and I'm terrible at it now. I should probably get back into it more. But I don't think I have regular dreams anymore. And the more healing I do, and the more my dreams used to be either something I was working out during the day, or something that stemmed from my fear or anxiety, or it could have been something that was going to happen, or something that did happen in the past. I didn't have control over it when I was younger, and I didn't have understanding of what was mine and what wasn't mine. And I didn't have understanding of what was stemming from fear or anxiety. So as I do more healing, and as I'm growing, as I get more connected, I guess you could say, I don't have regular dreams anymore. I don't have, everything has a meaning to me in some way, shape, or form. Most of my dreams involve extraterrestrials or some type of astral travel. I also have dreams where I feel like maybe somebody else is reaching out to me for a healing while I sleep. So I feel like I even do healing on others while I'm sleeping. Many of my dreams can be terrifying and scary, but they aren't crippling anymore, whereas they used to be very crippling. And now I know it might not be, it has nothing to do with my fear, and it has nothing to do with that. It really is just a message. And maybe the only way I understand it is to feel the emotion of it. And so that's kind of a lot of the dream work that I do. I mostly, when people are just getting into dream work, I really recommend that they do journaling, that they do vibrational sound therapy at night. That's always an incredible thing to help you decipher your dreams. And I love to work with crystals. I love the energy of crystals. So I recommend using crystals while you sleep too. And then I also, like a long time ago, I started doing this until I got really good at it. Right before I go to sleep, I used to practice reading my aura, or the aura of maybe a plant or something that was in the room. And I think that's a really great time to do that. I know that you're putting yourself in a space so that it's going to be more conducive for better dreaming or better dream work. So that's what I think.
So when you go to bed at night and you're using crystals, do you just have them around you, or do you sleep with some on your chest or in your hand, or how do you do that?
Well, I'm kind of a crystal hoarder. So I have like probably thousands of crystals in my home. I don't have them in my bed anymore. Sometimes, very rarely, I will bring them to bed with me, but I don't actually have to have them in my bed anymore. When I was first learning to decipher this or practice this, I use them more then, but I have the ability without them. So.
Gotcha. Nice. So one of the things is we like to talk about what we're going to manifest for 2021. And I know you talked a little bit about your vision. What do you want to manifest? What are you hoping to see come to fruition in 2021?
So I would love to see people being in allowance with each other and with themselves, and just kind of being patient. Be patient with what you're experiencing, and be patient with what other people are experiencing. There's so much going on, and everyone is so conflicted with it. And stop this separation. We are energetic beings. We need the energy of each other. We're at a lower vibration right now because we don't have each other's energy, because we are masked and we're told stay 6 feet apart. We need to be closer than that. You just kind of have to take the virus out of your reality. I'm sorry, you have to take it out of your reality and be an energetic being. Be in allowance with yourself, and give others the space to heal too. Like, you just have to be patient and accepting. So it's transformational for everyone.
I'm just curious a little bit about the sound therapy when you're sleeping. Do you recommend like listening to like a sound bath when you're sleeping?
So a sound bath is great. If you know that you have problem areas in certain chakras or certain times in your life, you can actually go by age group too. So if you have certain things that you're trying to work with, you can bring in a frequency that is best for that. Or you could do like a sound bath that would kind of be an umbrella of all of them. But you could work with, 396 hertz, 417 hertz, 528 hertz, 639, 741, 852, 963. It all just depends on the wavelength that you need kind of coming to you. So if you're dealing with stuff from your childhood, you're going to want to go with a lower frequency on that. And you can YouTube and find different frequencies. You can add binaural beats. You can add salaffigo frequencies. So those are all things that you can add to your healing. And I recommend adding the binaural beats at first because they can make a difference. But if you're trying to get rid of stuff, from your childhood, ages 0 to 7 or 8 to 14, just kind of like all the different ages of your chakra developments. Those are the frequencies you're going to want to put on. If you're trying to do conscious work, if you're trying to do dream work, if you're trying to do astral projection or extraterrestrial work, put on a higher frequency. And if you're having a problem with dependency, codependency, anything like that, it never hurts to work with your heart chakra and create that heart torus around you that will, and just bring that frequency in to the center.
What about lucid dreaming? If you want to do lucid dreaming, practice that.
So lucid dreaming, I would recommend doing something with your third eye. So probably 852 hertz I would work with. And then you manifest from your sacral, actually. So if you do like a 417 hertz mixed with like an 852 hertz or a 963 hertz, you actually, your truest desires, your truest soul desires will actually, they're manifested in your sacral. And then you bring that out through your third eye. Your third eye is what brings that to vision. And then you express it or bring it to fruition through your throat chakra. So you want to, might as well just do a sound bath. No. For lucid dreaming, I would recommend sacral, third eye, and throat is what I would recommend.
And on those 2 hertz, so 852 and 962, you said? Or 963?
So 852 is going to be your third eye. Yeah. 963 will be your crown. And I believe 417 is for your sacral. And those are the 3 I would work with for lucid dreaming.
Do you create your own meditations, or do you just use?
I do. I create my own meditations. One day, I cannot afford sound bowls right now, but it's coming. And I am really excited for them to come, but I do create my own meditations. And I actually had one of my clients, is really young, he's a musician and he's amazing. And he came and he was so excited because he came to one of my chakra classes and I talk about these frequencies. And he came last Thursday and he was like, I accidentally made a Reiki song and it has all the frequencies in it. And I'm so excited. So he's supposed to send me a copy of that. I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to see what he did.
How cute. So I have a question for you, like for people that are kind of just starting out with getting their gifts into the world, right? I mean, you opened a center. And so that's so exciting. And I know there's so many healers like, Amanda and a bunch of like other healers that are wanting to open their own center or open their own space. And so what advice would you give them if they're like, if that's one of their asks, but they're hesitating, or they're not sure, or if they're not sure if they have enough knowledge, or they're not good enough, all the stuff that comes up when you're starting to think about doing something so bold. So for you, the bold move was opening the center, but for some people, it's just telling somebody, hey, I do this.
Well,
so what advice do you have for those people?
So I wasn't actually bold enough to open my center at the time that I opened my center. I came and I got my bars practitioner on February 16th with you. I have always wanted to open a holistic health center, and I had no money to do it. And my whole goal was to pay off my debt this year so that next year maybe I could look into it. And I'm going to challenge everyone else the same way that you challenged me. And that is just go out and receive. Like, we're terrible receivers. So go out and receive everything that's yours. And just don't say no, and see what shows up for you. And everything that shows up for you that is light, that feels good, that's going to be yours. So if it's heavy, just don't even waste your time with it, and don't allow that toxicity in. Just receive. Like Jesus already received. Like I have been not receiving my whole life. My whole life I have been told, you have to earn it. You have to earn it. You have to earn it. It has to be yours. You have to put your name on it. You have to. And I am earning this, but I am receiving it too. There's nothing that says I'm not deserving, So I think for everyone out there that wants to do anything, it doesn't matter what you want to do, go receive it. Just receive it. And it's not about confidence. Because receiving, all that goes away. As if by magic, it all goes away.
I love that. Does anyone have any last questions for Sandi? I know we've kind of kept her over her time, but we love hearing all the stuff that you're doing. It's just amazing.
Thank you. I could talk for days.
When we put, this is actually on YouTube, but do you want to have a link underneath the description do you have like a web page or a website or an
I'm
email
still working on my webpage. I'm learning how to do that all by myself.
Okay.
So I'm still working on the webpage, but you can check me out at Infinite Prosperities on Facebook or Instagram. And I do have a YouTube, but it's to come. I haven't done any of my videos yet.
Okay.
So after today, I should start having videos on there.
Nice. Yes, just do it. Well, we thank you so much for being here and blessing us with your time and your talents. I know I learned a lot. I learned from all of us, and that's what is so important. This is actually, Sandi, this is my mastermind. Like, we all mastermind together every week.
I love it.
And so we always love when divine messages come through, when two or more are gathered in peace and harmony. So we just love that. So we just thank you for coming and allowing us to ask questions and learn a little bit more about what you do. So we thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me very much. It was amazing to meet all of you.
Yes. Did anybody have anything else? No?
Andy, is there any last words of advice that you can give anyone with everything that's going on with the elections and all this sort of turbulent times that are going on right now?
Just be patient, be an allowance, and just work on you. If you're working on you, everything else will fall into place. It's when you're working on other people that it gets more crazy. So work on yourself. Just only work on yourself.
Cool. Love it.
Great advice.
So
Thank you.
For all of our viewers, make sure you like and subscribe this video. If you have any comments, if you want to get in touch with Sandi, we'll leave a link or an email to get in touch with her directly if you have any more questions. And thank you again, Sandi, for your time. It's always great meeting other like-minded people, and we're gonna raise the vibration, and we are raising the vibration.
Right.
Is it on Pamela, is it the Schumann resonance
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, they've measured it, and it's like 25% of the world's population is vibrating at a higher rate than they were year over year, which is massive, right? It's just, that's a massive shift that's going to happen. And do you see, oh, sorry, just one more question, or a couple more questions. Do you see any significant dates coming up soon in the near future for people that are ascending?
I don't have a specific date. I know that the month of April stood out for me in a recent dream. And I want to say April 6th or 4th. I don't know why. That's just what came to me in a dream. And I actually didn't even think of it as a date until you just asked me that question. So yeah, April 6th or 4th, one of those two dates, or maybe both.
That's so cool. It's like Adam was meant to ask you so that you could.
Right.
That's so cool. And you just step online. I'm just like, you know, for people that are watching, since you are, you know, on that corner, kind of in the middle of, you know, like not close to anything. Do you do stuff online for people?
I have not done anything online yet, but I have just started adding stuff, and I have a Reiki certification class starting in person, but I have a few people out of state that are really interested in doing it. So I'm trying to figure out an online version. I'm not very tech savvy. I've learned a whole lot this year. And so I'm trying to figure out how to be able to put that online as well, along with other energy healings.
Yeah, because I'm sure our viewers would love to, like, you know, join your classes virtually, you know.
And I do, I can do numerology readings or like divination readings over online, but yeah, so that's what I'm working on.
Nice. Pamela, did you have a question? Pamela, did you have a question?
I was going to ask if you were looking at, I know it's kind of similar to what Adam had asked, but for someone who's just like, maybe we have a lot more, I'm noticing myself with people I'm working with, a lot more of the youth, right, that are really starting to wake up, they're really starting to transition into their own.
Right.
What would be one of your tips for someone who's young? Yeah, like I'm talking like teenager, preteen to teens.
Well, I do youth groups to try to promote as much material as possible for them. And I think my biggest tip is something I always told my daughter. The right now that's happening to you right now is not going to be the world that you were designed for. So we have all these children that are designed for a fifth dimensional world, and they're being raised in a third dimensional box. So they're misunderstood constantly. They're rebelling, they're acting out. And it's not because that's what they want to do. And it's because we can't perceive anything other than what their actions are as rebelling or acting out, because that's not actually what they're doing. They're trying to raise consciousness. We're the ones resisting, or other people are the ones that are resisting. And so for the teens, for everyone, for the younger generations that are, keep them. They're powerful. They're the most powerful beings on the planet right now. And we can learn so much from them. So just be patient and don't stop doing what you're doing. Like, everything is going to make a difference here very shortly. And I would love to say that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but for these kids, for these younger generations, there's not even a tunnel. It's not a tunnel. And as soon as that is gone and all it is light, and we are just the light beings that we're meant to be, they're it. They're the ones. Encourage them. Everyone needs to encourage them. Everyone needs to.
Oh my goodness. As you were talking, I got all kinds of goosebumps.
I freaking did too.
Like, I was like, whoa.
I think I've even said that to Amanda. You know, we were talking about ascension, and the one thing that she said she was worried about or concerned, I don't think worry was the right word, but concerned was about leaving her kids behind. And I think my answer was, your kids are already in the fifth dimension. They're just waiting for you. Right. And that's what happens. Like a lot of us, because we are like, I mean, let's be honest, the kids that were born between like 1965 and 1985 and 1990, if you want to go that high, we were born into a certain way of old way of thinking. And in the 90s, there was a shift, and it was starting to shift a little bit more and a little bit more. And now we're into a point where, you know, we're all between like 35 and maybe 50, 55-ish, where we're sort of living like two separate ways. And it was our generation that essentially started changing everything and started, you know, waking up, and more of us are waking up. And we're just now reconnecting with this younger generation who is just basically waiting for us to get to that point with them. And I think exactly what you said is exactly what's happening. And, you know, now that we are starting to be awakened to it, on however that happened, whether it was COVID, you know, with divine timing, I know it, you know, it pissed a lot of people off with it. It's still pissing people off with the masks and the social distancing. And sorry, I shouldn't say social, because it's not social, it's physical distancing that they're trying to impose. They're trying to break our spirits, and instead it's strengthening us. And I don't know if they realize that, but the longer that they do this, the more pent up energy is starting to come. And the young ones, it's not phasing them at all. I coach Little League hockey, 10-year-old boys, and it's not phasing them at all, because I can see most of them are already in the fifth dimension. They're living that way. There's some that are still in the third dimension, and I can tell it. They're wearing their masks during certain exerting exercises and stuff. But, you know, we need to trust and have faith that, you know, everything that's happening is happening for a reason. Whether you are a Biden fan or a Trump fan, and you think Biden should be in office or you think Trump should be in office, just know that it's all divine and it's going to happen. And the way that it's going to roll out, there's nothing you can do to change it. There's just nothing. It's going to happen the way that it's supposed to happen. And it's kind of remarkable that, you know, Biden won, and there's lots of speculation on how he won. And the media is only declaring it, hasn't been officially declared by any means yet. But there hasn't been one riot. There hasn't been one burned down building. But if it would have happened the other way, what do you think would have happened? Right? It's just kind of remarkable when you're able to sort of reflect on it. And is that all in divine timing? Because if Trump would have been declared victory, how many coups would have happened? How much buildings would have been burnt down? Like, what would have happened to the United States, like, instantaneously?
Well, I'm just wondering, like we said earlier, what exposure is coming from this determination before it's overruled, or even if it's not overruled, even if it goes this way, what exposure is going to happen? There's an incredible amount of events happening that people are not conscious of, they're not aware of, and they're not ready for it. But they need to get ready. It's going to be, you know, full disclosure here pretty quickly. And there's going to be a lot of changes. That's why I said it's going to get a little uglier before it gets better. And that's okay. It's a beautiful thing. It's all beautiful.
Yeah. It's not good or bad, right or wrong. It's just, it's supposed to be this way. And everyone just take a deep breath and relax. I don't know if you've watched the movie The Matrix, but in the last video of The Matrix, in Revolutions, when Smith and Neo are fighting and they're both just throwing punches, it feels like that's what's been going on with Biden and Trump for the last little bit. And at the very end, you know, Smith is standing over Neo and he's like, is that it? Is it over? And it's almost like that's the Democrats right now. Is it over? Did we finally win? And then it's just like, you know, like, everything that has a beginning has an end. You guys started this, and there's going to be an end to it, whether you want it or not. And I really feel that end thing right now is actually happening in real life for those that are awake enough to actually see it. They're witnessing it right now, and it's going to be this massive bolt of lightning, that light that just lights up everything. And then I don't know if you remember the last scene, but the oracle and the architect are talking, and the architect says, well, you played a very dangerous game. And the oracle says, well, change is always difficult, or it always gets difficult when there's change that has to be involved, right? And I really feel we're almost in those exact times of exactly how the Matrix, portrayed. I don't think that was a movie. I think it was a documentary of everything that's happening.
There's a few things like that for me, and chaos creates.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos creates. Everything is created from chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It's the nature. It's the law of nature.
Love it. I love it. Cool. Well, thank you so much. I don't want to take any more of your time. I'm probably sure we could talk for another few hours.
Yeah, we could.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Thank you, Sandi.